So today what we're going to do is a rebuild, but instead of just one team, we're going to do two teams. Yeah, I know. I did this last year and it was a bit of a challenge. I think I did the Orioles and the Marlins. Well, this year I'm going to do the two worst teams in baseball, the Marlins and the Tigers. And by worst teams, I mean AL and NL. I definitely don't want to do two in the same division. That would just kind of take away from the fact. So the whole point of this is to try to get the two teams to match up in the World Series, but I'm realistically going to keep it to a 3 to 4 year window. But the main goal is to try to get them to match up, but we'll see if that happens. If not, at least get one of the teams to win a World Series. That's the goal. So if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content. And of course, guys, get in the comment section. Let me know your future ideas for rebuilds. I've been seeing a lot of good ones down below. So let me know any ideas that you guys have for the future. That's really about it, guys. You know the deal. If you haven't followed any of my social media links, those are in the description as well. So we're going to stick to a 3 year window. I said 3 or 4. We'll see how it goes if we don't get fired by one of the teams. But you guys can see all the regular settings apply. You know, no forced trades. Budgets is on. And let's take a look at these teams, because both teams obviously are pretty bad. Like that's kind of the whole point of doing a 2-team rebuild with the 2 worst teams. And I mean, when you look at the Tigers, I mean, it's not the best, right? A couple good young arms coming up like Scuball and Mize and Manning, but for like right now talent, you're kind of relying on Fulmer and Boyd. And then when you look at the bullpen's a big mess. Joe Jimenez, catcher, not too much to get excited about. Miggy's aging. He's not really a healthy 36. He's kind of on the decline. So first base, kind of an issue. Even CJ Crone is kind of hit or miss. Second base, Jonathan Scope, more of it. I feel like in real life, it would have been a trade piece for the trade deadline to try to get something in return. But like, we'll see how he does. Third base, Candelario. Shortstop, Nico Goodrum. You got Demerit in left, and center, Jacoby Jones. And then Cameron Maybin / Victor Reyes. So again, not too much to get too excited about. There is Parker Meadows. You've got Daz Cameron, Riley Green. But for like right now, not too much to build the team around. So when we take a look at the Marlins, as we hop over there, it's a little bit more to be excited about. You know, you got some good young pitching that's kind of at the point where they're MLB ready. The bullpen is a little bit better, not too much better, but at least a little bit better. Alfaro's a solid catcher. First base, Aguilar is not a bad option to have at first. Isan Diaz, a young, and like, I think he's going to be a pretty solid second baseman. You got Brian Anderson, Miggy Rojas, but you've also got Jazz Chisholm behind him at short. Corey Dickerson, I thought, was a great pickup this offseason. In center field, you've got Jonathan Villar, and of course Harold Ramirez in right. So the team looks good. You've got a couple young guys to look forward to in the future as well. So I think the Marlins are a little bit better than the Tigers. So let's start with the Tigers moves and let's see what we can do. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick up Marco Gonzalez along with D. Gordon for Jordan Zimmerman and Jake Rogers. Get rid of that Zimmerman contract. I know it does expire at the end of the year, but getting rid of it now allows us to make some more moves right now rather than having to wait till the end of the year. I'm going to pick Omar Narvaez up from the Brewers, which means we have a catcher for like basically the whole rebuild, which is solid, for Jordy Mercer and Kristen Stewart. And now I don't really know what else to do with this team. I really want to strengthen the bullpen, but like, man, this is going to be tough. So if I can find something, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, we're going to start hopping into the Marlins trades. I'm going to get Luis Perdomo for basically 3 really bad relievers. So that's a decent little pickup for us. I'm going to make a trade for Giovanni Gallegos of the Cardinals for Turnbull, Burrows, and Schwindel. I think that might be the last trade 100%. So let's take a quick little peek at the team right now. For the Tigers, this is what we're looking like. There's definitely improvements needed. You know, that bullpen is still pretty bad. But for now, you know, a couple changes, nothing too crazy. It allows us to definitely build for the future. And budget-wise, we're actually pretty healthy, so we should be fine moving forward. This is the lineup. You know, Narvaez coming in, D. Gordon comes in. Decent little pickups, nothing too crazy. You know, D. Gordon becomes a free agent at the end of the season, so not terrible. Let's do the Marlins now. Let's make some moves for them. All right, I'm going to the Twins for a new shortstop in Jorge Polanco, along with Fernando Romero for my boy Victor Mesa. I know. I'm trading him away, but it's got to be done. We're going to trade Garrett Cooper and Miggy Rojas as well. 2 decent options there from the Twins. I like that trade. So not too many moves with the Marlins. I feel like this team is one of those teams you gotta let some of these young guys develop and work their way up. So we're gonna rock with this: Yamamoto, Lopez, Smith, Alcantara, and Hernandez. You got Arena, Stanek, Garcia, Kinsler, Romero, Steckenrider, and Ryan Cook. And then when you look at the lineup, not too many changes. Just Polanco hops in that 2 spot, and then Lewin Diaz takes over at first. We'll see how he does there. Hopefully he does well. But yeah, that's the team. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Budget-wise, pretty similar to what we have with the Tigers. So off camera, I'm gonna make sure we get new coaches, new scouts to make sure we have the best of the best for both teams, and then we'll just hop into it. I'll see you guys at draft day. All right, let's take a look at the draft because we had way too many picks, and there were a lot of starting pitchers, just a lot of pitchers in general, which is crazy. Like there were like 3 times as many pitchers as there were any other position in the draft. It was ridiculous. So let's see what we got here. Marlins first, and yeah, I went closer first. Deal with it, right? Like that's just what I did. I guess I'll throw myself in this corner so you guys can see all the stats. Danny Cruz looks solid, dude. Like that's a good bullpen arm for like the whole rebuild essentially. We got Reggie Mercer. I was kind of hoping he would have been a little bit better. Unfortunately, he wasn't. Freddie Bloom's got really good potential and 60 overall. You've got 89 potential. Johnny Bosarge looks okay. Could feature. Robbie Mann with 81 potential. You got Pat Bernier with 91 potential, 90 potential, solid. And then the last pick, Patrick Torres with 72 potential. So now let's take a look at the other team that we are controlling. We went the wrong way, and let's move to the Tigers. See what we got. Okay. 98 potential for David Barber. Yeah, he looks good. That's a good pick right there. The next one had 78 potential. Yikes, not as good as I would have hoped. This one has B potential. Freddie Kolb. Okay. Good arm strength. Could definitely be that center fielder for us for the future. 80 potential. 89 potential for Henry Lopez. That's good to see. 80 potential for Roger Midisek. He's 70 overall already. 89 potential for Fletcher Mossy. Okay. And then 75 potential for Oliver Marino. I like the Tigers a lot better than the Marlins, but overall, still pretty good picks all over the place. All right, so for the Tigers, the season was actually decent. We didn't make the postseason, but it was a good year, almost 500. I will take that for sure, especially with how bad the Tigers normally are. And with the Marlins, they finished a little bit better, but still not good enough to make the postseason. So I'm pretty happy with the way both teams performed actually. Like 80 and 82, really solid season. And then when we take a look at the rest of the league, like we only finished 10.5 games out, which isn't bad at all. And then when you look at the East with the Marlins, yeah, we finished 14 games out, but 87 and 75 is not bad. And then in the wild card, missed it by 2 games. That's impressive. So let's take a look at league leaders. D. Gordon had the most stolen bases, and that was it. I guess that's it. And what about with the Marlins? Jonathan Villar had a phenomenal season. So we'll take a look at some of like the hits leaders and things like that and see where we kind of stand with certain players. Maybe home runs. Maybe someone snuck in there. Jonathan Villar with 33 home runs. Okay. And then the Tigers, I don't really see anybody for home runs there. So awards wise, 2 gold gloves for the Marlins. And then when we take a look at the Tigers, we have 2 gold gloves as well. So, okay. MVP was Trout and Suarez, Scherzer and Sale for Cy Young. Batting title went to Rendon and Reynolds. And then Kimbrel, Taylor Rogers, Tsutsugo and Akiyama. And then the Hank Aaron went to Soto and Trout. So, there we go. Those are our award winners. There's our league leaders. So, let's start with the Tigers. We'll talk about the Tigers first and kind of see how everything went. When we take a look at our bullpen, Daniel Norris is a long reliever. I think I'm going to keep him there. I think that's where it kind of suits him best. Our bullpen was atrocious. Like, I'm not even worried about it. Like, it was bad. Really, Perdomo and Gallegos carried the load. They did very well. Basically, I need some good free agents to pop up for the bullpen. Otherwise, we're going to be in a lot of trouble because we don't even have people that we can call up that could potentially help us out. Like, we have Mize and Skubal for the future, along with Manning for starting rotation, but for bullpen help, we're kind of screwed. Michael Fulmer, fantastic season. You got Matthew Boyd, who did well. At the trade deadline, Matthew Boyd was like at a 4.6 ERA, so he definitely turned it around second half of the season. Gonzalez did well. Godley, not bad for a 4. I'll definitely take that. And then we're going to get rid of Xiao Ching Chiang. We're going to let him walk. No point in keeping him. He's just not that great. When we take a look at our bench, Heimer Candelario, atrocious. I'm going to trade him. Just try to get something in return for him. Romine, Castro, Jacoby Jones. You know, it's not terrible. A couple players to look forward to for the future. But, like, for right away, nothing yet. Victor Reyes is the leadoff guy. Not really the solution. I'll probably bump or drop him down in the lineup. And then Scope. Not a bad season. Not a bad season at all. I might bring him back for one more year depending on how much he wants. If he wants like 10 plus, I'll probably let him walk and we can go somewhere else with that kind of money. Miggy definitely fell off. You know, CJ Crone actually kind of cooled off second half of the season. He was sitting at like an 850 OPS at one point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maben, not terrible. Omar Narvaez wasn't as good as I would have hoped. So maybe he has a bounce back year next year. Demerit, not fantastic. Nico Goodrum, not fantastic. D. Gordon, though. Okay, maybe that's our leadoff hitter. Maybe we bring him back, let him be that leadoff hitter for us. Because, like, that's not terrible. That's actually not too bad. So let's take a look at our Marlins now. See how they did. Urania was outstanding. And when you look at the bullpen as a whole, Fernando Romero, okay. Kinsler was good. Cook was good. Just a couple eyesores, but for the most part, okay, the starting rotation could use a little bit of help for sure. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with what the pitching was looking like. Our bench wasn't bad either. They got on base. They did their job. Jonathan VR was unbelievable. 50 doubles, 30 home runs, 53 stolen bases. Oh my. That's insane. Polanco put up good numbers. Corey Dickerson put up amazing numbers. Aguilar put up good. I mean, this team is definitely showing that it could be very good very quickly. So I think really the only bad spot was first base. And like we could just use Aguilar there as like the everyday guy. And I think we'll be fine. So we're looking good with the Marlins. The Tigers I think are going to need a little bit more work. But okay, let's hop into it. Let's see what we can do. I got to sneeze. Hopefully it doesn't happen soon or it just goes away. The Dodgers defeat the Red Sox. Let's keep going. Let's see how this goes. I already know this is going to be a longer rebuild. It's 2 teams. What do you expect? Let's just keep going. So for the Marlins, definitely bringing back VR. Like, he was unbelievable. If I can bump this down a little bit, save us a little bit of money though, that would be fantastic. I'll even backload that contract. Boom, there we go. And then the rest though, I'm gonna let walk. So let's flip it to the Tigers now. D. Gordon, not terrible. So you know what? I'm gonna do my patented club option. We're gonna backload that puppy, and we'll bump it up to like 5.3. See what he says, and then how much does Jonathan Scope want? 9 mil. What if I did like a player option? We do that, and we bump this down. That's tough. That's tough. And then CJ Crone, I'm gonna let him walk. And then I'm gonna let the rest walk as well. So there we go. We shouldn't need any staff for any first base coach. I'll do that off camera. Let's get into the good stuff. So let's focus on the Tigers first, and let's kind of see what we're working with here. I'm gonna bring everybody back. I think not Alex Wilson, not Cisnero, and not Jones. So those 3 aren't coming back. We got that. Contracts, I'm gonna offer it to everybody. I believe not him, but everybody else is gonna get a contract. And really quickly, free agency. We could use an outfielder. That's one area that I'm looking to get a player. I know we have that Kolb guy who maybe we go crazy and just let him start, because we could save some money and just do that, and then just spend the bulk of the money on this area, which looks very, very bad. So looks like trades are going to be our best friend. So now let's take a look at the Marlins, see what we can do here. Arbitration, not Yimby Garcia, but I think maybe not Steckenrider either, but we'll offer it to everybody else. And then contracts wise, probably gonna offer it to everybody. You know, I feel like everybody kind of did their job, was pretty good for the team. And then looking at the team now, the outfield's good. We've got Ramirez, VR, and Dickerson. Shortstop, we have Polanco. Third base, Anderson. Second base, Diaz. Realistically, it was just first base, but like those options aren't great. So maybe just pick up like a bullpen arm if we really need that. I guess we could use a true closer, and then starting pitching, I think we could just trade if we're going to do that. So I feel like the Marlins are a lot better than the Tigers, but both teams actually could have a breakout season this year. See you guys for season 2. For season 2, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Marlins moves and everything like that, the recap, all that good stuff. We're going to trade Caleb Smith and Dylan Lee for Eric Lauer. And the reason I'm going for Lauer, contract's a little bit lower. Again, kind of a softer tossing lefty, so kind of similar to what Caleb Smith would offer. I just think Eric Lauer is just going to be a little bit better. I'm pretty sure Caleb Smith becomes a free agent. Oh, he doesn't. I'm still gonna make the trade though. I'm just gonna switch it up a little bit. So that's probably gonna be the only move that I make for the Marlins, because I like the team that we kind of have built so far, and like some players, their contract expires at the end of the season, so we can make moves following, you know, once the season's over, and then we could use that money to really bulk up the squad. Because like Pablo Lopez, solid starter. Alcantara had an okay year last year. He's really the one guy that I have like my eye on to possibly get rid of next year. Eric Lauer, we just got Yamamoto, and then Eliezer Hernandez. So like I like the young staff that we have. They're gonna improve. We also have Sixto Sanchez, who like I want to get him to into the team. It's just like his stats just aren't good enough just yet. So it's like I don't want to rush him, and like I don't want to just bring him up to bring him up. Ureña's decent. Stanek was good last year. We brought in Ryan Dull from the Rule 5 draft. His stats look okay. We'll see how he does. Romero obviously was really good for us last year. Montgomery brought in for 1 season from free agency. I needed a lefty. He was like one of the only ones available. Cook, and then Ken Giles was the big free agent acquisition this offseason to be our true closer, because that's what we really needed. And then the lineup is the exact same. The only change is no Lewin Diaz as our DH. It's going to be Danny Santana. And then that's really about it. I mean, not too many other changes. And then we got a lot of the young guys still developing, so we'll just hold off there. Let's take a look at the Tigers, and let's see how we're looking. Because for them, I do want to make a trade. I just don't know where yet, because I'm still trying to figure out what we could do. So a lot of lefties. I know we have Wood, Boyd, Gonzalez. We also have Godley and Fulmer. Norris is there. Perdomo, Faria from the Rule 5 draft. Tony Watson on a 1-year deal. Ramos from the Rule 5 draft. I said I wanted bullpen help. I needed to get it some way, shape, or form. The Rule 5 draft was like the best option. Gallegos and Jimenez. I'm thinking about making a trade for the bullpen, which would include Jimenez, but we'll wait and see. And then when you take a look at the lineup, D. Gordon came back, and then so did Jonathan Scope and CJ Crone. We're going to let Freddie Kolb, that center fielder that we drafted, take over day 1. Victor Reyes in right, Travis Demeritte in left. I'm kind of questioning if we keep these guys. We could also trade them. You know, we'll keep our eye on them, and you guys can see Jankowski, Culberson, and Hosmer are all players we brought in on like 1 or 2 year deals, very small contracts. This is the budget. This is what it's looking like. You guys can see most players are on 1 or 2 year deals and things like that. So like we don't really have to worry about spending money because a lot of the guys are locked up. And then even with the Marlins, it's kind of the same situation. Corey Dickerson's really the only one that becomes a free agent. And like, he's one of those guys that I would either let walk, or we could possibly trade him at the deadline, or we could just keep him because he's kind of a glitch in franchise. But like I said, most of these players are locked up. So like, we don't have to worry about budget. It's just adding to the team. So I do want to make a trade for the Tigers, so let's go and do that. So the trade we're going to make is for David Dahl of the Rockies. I think this is a good pickup for us, especially in left field, for Travis Demeritte, Heimer Candelario, and Dewell Lugo. 3 players that like probably long-term aren't going to fit into the team. David Dahl, solid pickup for us. He's going to be with us for the rest of the rebuild. I like that move a lot. It's going to be a cheap deal too. This is solid. So we're at deadline day for season 2, and I want to make some trades because both teams are like on the verge of being wildcard teams, or they're like they are like the winning wildcard spot. So I want to get them that final push, that extra help to get them into the playoffs. And for the Marlins, I'm going to get rid of Jesus Aguilar, Monte Harrison, and Gerard Encarnacion for Max Muncy. I want to get a little bit more pop in the lineup. Yes, Aguilar has that, but Muncy just a little bit better. I don't really want to get rid of Monte Harrison. I actually think he looks kind of decent. I know I'm covering up the stats, but I think he looks kind of decent. But we have VR in center. We're just going to leave it there. Let's get Max Muncy, put him at first base. So I know I get him often. I need a lefty in the bullpen. Mike Montgomery is not fantastic. I'm going to go Aaron Bummer for Eliezer Hernandez and Ryan Stanek. That means Sixto's coming up to be the 5 in the rotation, but I really needed a lefty, and this gives us that. So take a quick look at the Marlins after those trades. We've got Sixto in the lineup or the starting rotation, and then of course Bummer's going to hop into that setup role. Everybody else is kind of performing pretty well, and then the trade with Muncy adds a little bit more pop to the lineup, and there we go. So now let's take a look at the Tigers. Let's get a couple trades with them. We're going to acquire Jeff McNeil now of the Brewers for Jonathan Scope and Tariq Skubal. Jonathan Scope's doing terrible, and Tariq Skubal is going to be kind of extra. So that's the move. Plus, we get a really good contact hitter with Jeff McNeil. All right, for the Tigers, I'm going to get rid of CJ Cron, another player that we re-signed and just isn't doing well. We're going to trade for Trey Mancini, and we're going to take Trey Mancini and move him to first base. And then you guys can see who else we had to get rid of to get Trey Mancini. I just think it's the right move for us. I'm going to trade Chad Setio and Joe Jimenez for Ryan Helsley. And I think those are going to be the moves for the Tigers. And this is what we're looking like. You know, the team, a couple players are struggling a little bit, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with what we're able to put together. So yeah, David Dahl's in, we got Mancini, you know what, and Jeff McNeil. This team's starting to come together. Really the only one I'm unsure about right now is Victor Reyes. I signed Asdrubal Cabrera just to be an extra bench bat for the rest of the season. You know, we do have Parker Meadows, who I think could play for us next year if Victor Reyes doesn't do well. We could trade Victor Reyes for like another one of these positions that we're struggling to kind of fill out. But for now, I'm liking the team. It looks pretty good. So I'll see you guys at the end of the season. All right, so both teams, again, just this close, just weren't able to get over that last little hump, and it does suck. It does suck for sure. We were 13 games out here, but in the wild card, 3 games, and then in the East, you know, 4 games out in the East, and in the wild card, 1 game. So like I'm saying, we're super close. We're gonna figure it out. As I just smack my mic out of the way, we're gonna figure it out. Marco Gonzalez was fantastic for the Tigers. And then we'll take a look for the Marlins. No league leaders. Okay, so that was a waste of time, I guess. But let's see how everybody did. Gavin Lux hit quite a few doubles. There's quite a few triples there. Home runs, 57 for Trout and 53 for Soto. And we take a look at our awards now. Gold Glove for Alfaro. That was it for the Marlins. And awards for the Tigers, you got Delivery Man of the Year. So Trout won MVP, Soto won MVP. You got Scherzer, who had a great season, along with Chris Sale. Batting title went to Devers and Soto. Reliever of the year went to Raisel Iglesias and Giovanni Gallegos. Rookie of the year went to Yermin Mercedes and Boom. And then Soto and Trout won Hank Aaron Award. Yes, I saw Giovanni Gallegos' season. Yes, it was absolutely nasty. Let's figure out what's going on with our pitching. So Fulmer, like, give me 2020, not 2021, and we're good. You know, Matthew Boyd was solid. Zach Godley was pretty good. Alex Wood, not as good as I would have hoped. I gave him a club option, so I'm probably just going to let him walk to free agency. And Marco Gonzalez was really good. So to be honest, I'm thinking like maybe Godley moves to the 5, Gonzalez moves up to the 3, and we just pick up a 4, and we should be good. Daniel Norris, not as good as I would have like hoped that he, you know, maybe I wanted him to keep that thing going. Keep that thing going? What's wrong with me? I wanted him to keep that good performance, or keep those good performances going. It just didn't work out. And then the rest of the bullpen, you know, besides Ramos, everybody was pretty good. Giovanni Gallegos was absolutely disgusting. 1 blown save. Look at that ERA. Look at that whip. I mean, that is like stuff of dreams. That is what you want all day, every day. Our bench, pretty disappointing. And then you can see D. Gordon wasn't as good as I would have hoped. He didn't kind of keep that up, so I'm going to probably let him walk in free agency. David Dahl, fantastic. Miguel Cabrera, pretty solid for 37 years old. You know, Trey Mancini was outstanding. Omar Narvaez was okay. If we could trade him for a really good catcher, I might do that. Jeff McNeil is really good. I want to move him up in the lineup. Freddie Kolb, not as good as I would have hoped. Victor Reyes, not as good as I would have hoped. And Nico Goodrum, actually a really good year. Definitely a bounce back season for Nico Goodrum. I'm happy with that. So I'm thinking Reyes, maybe we trade him, maybe do some sort of package deal. We let Meadows take over in right field. David Dolly, I don't think he's got the hitting stats just yet. And then really the only other one that could potentially hop in would be Marino, but I don't even know if he's ready. So we'll definitely do some sort of package deal for the players that we have, but let's see how the team did for the Marlins. Urania struggled. Dahl was not bad. Romero, not as good as he was last year. Cook was good. Montgomery, not so good. Aaron Bummer outstanding, and so is Ken Giles. So some pieces to build around, but again, probably going to need some changes for sure. Pablo Lopez was okay. Pretty similar to what he did last year. Same with Alcantara. Lauer, pretty similar. Yamamoto, pretty similar. Sixto. We need to change pitching. Like we need an ace. We need someone that's really going to carry the staff, and we don't have that on that team just yet. Offensively, VR took a step back. Polanco, pretty similar to what he did last year. A little bit more power, which I like to see. Corey Dickerson, we got to bring him back. He's too good. Max Muncy did well. Anderson did well. Santana was a bench bat, so like I'm not gonna freak out that he didn't do phenomenally. You know, Harold Ramirez, solid right fielder. Jorge Alfaro, great season. Isan Diaz is about the same. You know, I'm hoping this like next year's his breakout year. We'll have to wait and see. JJ Bleday, I mean, where do we get these guys into the lineup? Because we have a couple guys who could maybe sneak in there, but for now, you know, let's head into the offseason. Let's see what we can do with the team. Let's see how we can change it. The Cubs defeat the Red Sox, and we're going to have to get some new staff for the team, for both teams, it looks like. And let's just keep going. Tony Watson retires. Interesting. All right. Marlins. The only one I want here is Corey Dickerson. I'm going to give him a 2-year deal. I'm going to bump that bad boy up. I'm even going to give him a player option. We're just going to backload it so we save a little bit of money, and then the rest of the guys can go. So let's take a look at the Tigers now. Decline. Let Norris go. Decline. How was he? Pretty bad. We're going to decline that. Asdrubal can go. Charlie Culberson can go. We're going to save a lot of money there. Boom. Let's keep moving forward. Let's see what we can do with each team. We'll keep with the Tigers. We'll add everybody that we need to for the 40-man. Arbitration-wise, I feel like everybody here. You know, maybe not Jankowski, but everybody else for sure. Contracts, everybody for sure. And let's take a look at the team now. So we do need a second baseman. We could always just put McNeil there. I guess it depends on like who's available in free agency. Lindor, I know we can afford a top shortstop. Oh yeah, we're getting Lindor, Baez, Story, Chris Bryant even could play third for us, and we can move McNeil to second base. Like yeah, we're gonna get one of those top guys. Outfield, I don't think it's like the biggest of necessity, and then like maybe a relief pitcher. So there's that. Let's take a look at the Marlins now. It's kind of the same thing. I think everybody there is gonna get arbitration. Maybe not Dull. I might hold off on Dull. Everybody's gonna get a contract. And when we take a look at the lineup offensively is really sound. Like I like it. I don't think too much needs to change. If anything, maybe swap out Isan Diaz. The big thing here is I'm probably going to trade one of our starters, and I'm definitely going to be adding to this bullpen. So what do? Do we just go out and get like Syndergaard? I mean, budget-wise, we're kind of tight on money. So like, I think we're just going to spend most of our money on bullpen arms and see what we can do, make some trades once the season starts, and go from there. So I'll see you guys for the final season, season 3. It might not be the final season if we don't make the postseason. So let's see how it goes. I'll see you guys for season 3. Season 3, we're going to start with the trade. We're going to start with the Marlins moves first. And let's see what we can do. So we're going to trade Alcantara, Nader, and Ronald Molina for Reyes, Moranta, and Tyler Beede. Beaty's going to be a long reliever. Moranta's going to hop right into the bullpen. I'm going to see what I can do with some of the lineup, because I do want to get a little bit better offensively with this team, and then kind of go from there. I'm going to trade Jonathan VR. He kind of let us down last year. I don't think he's really worth the $10 million that we're paying. We're also going to trade Magneuris Sierra, Josh Roeder for Ketel Marte. Just basically another switch-hitting center fielder for us. So for the Tigers, what we're going to do is we're going to focus kind of on the bullpen, maybe a couple offensive pieces. But Victor Reyes and Eduardo Ramos are going to get us Yohan Lopez and Archie Bradley. That's definitely going to improve the bullpen for sure. All right, we're going to get Ian Happ to play center field. Freddie Kolb, he's good, but like we need someone that's really going to help us out right away. Ian Happ's going to be that guy. So after those moves, this is the team. This is what we're going to go with for the Tigers. We got Fulmer, Gonzalez, Boyd, Godley, and Mize. And then when you look at the bullpen, Smiley's a new addition. Faria, we got Perdomo, Helsley, Erlin, Lopez, Bradley, and Gallegos. There we go. And then the lineup currently looks like this. David Dahl, McNeil, Dahl, Lindor was brought in. We got Mancini, Happ, Narvaez, Polka, Goodrum, and then Meadows. It's tough to work with this team. We could even go farther and just be like, let's go make another trade. But for now, I really like the team. You know, I want to see where we're ranked. 15th, but I still think we're a really sneaky team, and I think we're going to do a lot better than what 15th would do. We've got Syndergaard for the Marlins now with Yamamoto, Lopez, Lauer, and Sixto Sanchez. Beatty is a long reliever. We've got Neris, Morin, Romero, Maranta, Bummer, and Giles. Obviously, a lot of bullpen changes this offseason. And then lineup-wise, with Marte being added, I mean, this team looks really solid. I think this is a really good Marlins team offensively. Pitching might let us down. Again, the budget currently looks like this, but you know what? I like the team a lot. I'm pretty sure we're going to be about the same as what the Tigers are. Yeah, we're ranked 12th, so let's see how it goes. You know what? I expect both teams to make the postseason, so I'll see you guys at the end of the season. At the deadline, we're struggling a little bit with the Tigers starting pitching, so I want to make one trade, and it's for a very familiar face in Henderson Alvarez for Matthew Boyd and Pedro Martinez Jr. I think that's going to be the only move I make. He's really the big glaring issue in the starting rotation. So now let's just see if that really helps them, because both teams are in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs right now. So we got to keep it that way. I'll see you guys for the final part of this rebuild. Whew. It came down to the wire. It really did. We actually had to play a little bit of a tiebreaker. I'm actually covering it. Boom. You guys can see we beat Cleveland 11-2. Man, that was I saw that tiebreaker pop up and I was like, oh no, we're not making the postseason. So 89-74, we won the division. We wouldn't even made the wild card. So I'm glad we won that tiebreaker, because that was the way we got into the postseason with the Tigers, and the Marlins won the division. So that's good to see. Holy cow, the Dodgers are nasty. 117 wins. Are you kidding me? Drew Smyly had the best win percentage. Wasn't he? Wait. Mookie Betts is on the Angels? What's going on here? And then Syndergaard, most innings pitched and best whip. There's a lot of crazy things happening in this rebuild, this 2-team rebuild. And you guys can see the league leaders for everything. And then we'll take a look at the awards. None for the Marlins, none for the Tigers as well. So Glaber and Soto were MVPs, both with 55 home runs. And you guys can kind of see who else is winning awards and things like that. It sucks that we didn't win anything. Gallegos was there for the reliever of the year, but that he didn't win it, obviously. So okay, you know what? We made the postseason with these teams. That's a win in itself. Drew Smyly was 9-1 on the year as a long reliever, solid. Jake Faria, solid. Perdomo was good this entire rebuild. You gotta love it. Helsley was solid. Erlin with deep potential is putting up solid numbers. I'm saying solid way too much. Archie Bradley, not great, not solid. And then Yohan Lopez was good. I took Bradley out of the setup role because he was struggling. And then Gallegos was the best closer we could have picked up. He was outstanding this entire time. So Fulmer, kind of similar. He's been kind of putting up similar numbers throughout this whole thing. Gonzalez struggled a bit. Henderson Alvarez, I think, was one of those players that we really needed to acquire. We just needed a good starter in the rotation, and that's what he's going to give you. He's not going to blow you away. He's just going to give you good starts, and that's what we needed. Godley surprised me. I didn't expect him to be this good, but he did his job. Casey Mize did struggle in his rookie year, but you know what? I'm okay with that. And then you guys can see the team here. The bench was okay. Jeff McNeil, kind of disappointed. David Dahl, though, that was a good pickup for us. Lindor obviously is going to put up good numbers. Kind of quiet, but still put up pretty decent numbers. Trey Mancini put up good numbers. Ian Happ put out the best numbers on the team. Actually, I take that back. Almost 40 home runs for Omar Narvaez. Palka was okay as a DH. Nico Goodrum had his worst season. Probably not really. It was just a bad season. Parker Meadows, not bad though. So offensively it was okay with the team. Tyler Beatty, not a bad long reliever. Neris kind of struggled. Morin for a Rule 5 pickup. You know what? I'm pretty happy with that one. Romero wasn't as good as his first season, which is disappointing. Reyes Maranta, not that great. Bummer, not that great. And then Giles was pretty solid, but his worst season so far. So bullpen, kind of disappointing when you got Syndergaard, Lopez, Lauer, Yamamoto. Actually, to be honest, starting rotation definitely carried the bullpen. Bullpen was kind of weak. And then when you look at our bench and everything like that, it was all right. But I have a feeling this offense is going to be nasty. Polanco put up good numbers. Ketel Marte, Love to see it. You know, Dickerson is unbelievable in franchise for some reason. Max Muncy's hitting almost 40 home runs. Anderson put up a solid season. Danny Santana, minimal appearances, so it's like whatever. Alfaro put up a good year. Ramirez, Isan Diaz even put up a solid season. So yeah, I have a feeling this is the offensive team, and I don't even know anymore. Both teams did well. Let's take a look and see how this is gonna line up. Oh man. Okay, let's hop to the Marlins. This is gonna be difficult to keep up with everything, so hopefully we can do this. So game 1 was won, which is good, but now they both play on this day. So Tigers won their game 1. What happened with the Marlins? They won their game 2. So let's just skip a couple days. So the Marlins won their series. They're going to be taking on the Dodgers or the Diamondbacks. But what about the other team? What about the Tigers? What's going on here? They're up 2-0, and they sweep their team. They're going to be taking on they're going to be taking on the Yankees. So now what about the Marlins? Marlins are taking on the Dodgers. And now we got to get everything lined up here. We can sim one more day, and let's get the staff sorted. So it's going to be boom. Like this, and then boom. And then for the other team, it's going to be here, 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 and like that. So that should line up perfect. All right, let's go a couple days. I think they both start on the same day. This is like the most tricky part of everything. So let's go 1, 2, 3, and then it's tied 1-1 here. And for the other one, it is tied 1-1 as well. So I think the Dodgers, or not the Dodgers, the Marlins play the Dodgers today. So let's go 1, 2. So 2-2 here. 1. Oh man. Sim. All right. So the Tigers are about to get knocked out, and the Dodgers are 1 game away from advancing. So let's hop back to the Tigers. We play this game because if they lose, they get knocked out. So I'll see you guys in a sec. All right, Fulmer's on the mound. We're gonna see how this goes against the Yankees, which they're the Yankees, so it's gonna be a tough game for sure. We're up 1-0 thanks to McNeil though, so I'll take that, you know. And when you look at the Yankees team in a sec, okay, things are going great, but they've got a weird team. This is a completely different Yankees team. This is strange. Normally I'm seeing like stacked Yankees team with like all 90s. This is probably like the weakest Yankees team I've seen. As I say that, they come back into the game, and it's kind of close now, so that's a little worrisome. You know what I mean? Maybe me talking wasn't the best decision. So let's go Perdomo. He gets us out of it. Perfect. And tie ball game now. That's not good. You know, that is not what you want. If Perdomo can give me one more inning, that'd be great. He does. And the offense has gone quiet. What happened? There we go, Lindor. He gives us that run. We're still going. All right, 9th inning. We're bringing it to Gallegos. He's been amazing. He does the job. There we go. Still alive. Let's hop over to the Marlins. And now this is going to be tough because I think they both play. Oh, they don't. All right, perfect. Let's hop over to the Marlins now. If the Marlins win this, they go to the World Series. They do. They're going to the World Series to take on the Yankees or the Tigers. Whew. And it comes down to this, right? Let's hop into some more quick managing. Marco Gonzalez on the mound, and what can we do here? I'm expecting good things. There it is. That's a good start. 2-0. Stanton puts them back within 1, but I'm feeling good. There we go. There's another run. 3-1. We get that 2-run lead back, and you know what? The offense is no, that's not good. The offense is heating up though. 2nd and 3rd, no outs. A double play, but all of our runners disappeared. Didn't we have 2nd and 3rd? We had 2nd and 3rd, no outs, double play, and there was nobody on the bases. What happened there? Wait. I'm so confused. We had 2nd and 3rd, no outs. Lindor hits into a double play, but then there's nobody on base. I feel like that's not the, or maybe I'm getting things mixed up now. I'm befuddled for sure. All right, we're gonna take out Marco Gonzalez. Let's go. Helsley. A sack bunt by Gary Sanchez. Are you kidding me? What is going on here? Can we get the sack fly? Perfect. I'll take that. Get that 2-run lead back, and let's see if Helsley can give me another inning. Really? Really? Alright, we're going to take him out. We're going to go to Archie Bradley. And he gets us out of this. It comes down to this inning. A ground out, a strikeout, a double. Come on, Mancini. We were so close to that World Series matchup, man. Oh, that. Whew, oh, so close. Alright, so Lopez is pitching. So let's go. Boom. Lopez. Lauer, and then I guess Sixto, because Yamamoto is getting absolutely thrashed. So here we go. It comes down to the Marlins to save this rebuild, and they're up 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. Game 7. Let's hop into it. All right, Pablo Lopez is gonna take the mound. Chris Paddock for the Yankees. I wonder how they did that. How did they swindle that move? And so only 1 hit so far in the game. 2 hits. Polanco, come on. Marte, bases loaded for Dickerson. Couldn't get that clutch gene work in that inning. So that's tough to see. And then Voit goes deep, 2-0. Double play. I think it's just the Yankees are gonna kill me. I talk smack about them. I said they were garbage, that they're not a good team, and what happens? They come out and they ruin everything. So let's go Moranta. He gets us out of it. Can we get anything going, man? 2 innings left. 2 innings left. And it's not looking fantastic for us. Let's just go Morin. He walks, a strikeout. It comes down to this inning. They're going to bring in Chad Green. 1 out, a single. That's good. Okay. A strikeout. I'm actually going to pinch hit for Danny Santana. He's 1 for 3. He's who do we go to though? Jazz Chisholm. Ground out, and that is it. The dude, I can't say anything, dude. The Yankees just smacked me around and told me what's what. I mean, what is their lineup, man? Like, it can't be that good. Their team can't be that good. Like, I mean, it's okay, but like, it's nothing special, you know? What's their pitching staff? I think their pitching staff did shut us down for sure. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, when you got Winkler, Holder, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like we should have done better. I feel like we could have won there. I feel like we definitely could have won there, and unfortunately, we this close. We lost in the World Series. Oh man, that's tough. And then also, you know, with the Tigers, they lost in the ALCS. We came so close to matching up in the World Series, but that's where I'm going to leave it because I already know this rebuild is going to be long enough. The 2-team rebuild ends there. I hope you did enjoy it. Hit that thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy MLB The Show content, and of course, rebuild content. And in the comment section, let me know other future rebuilds you would like to see. I'm going to leave you guys with 2 videos on screen now. And that's it, guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.